Hello, 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 world. Hello, world. I will start off. Oh, let me start that over, y'all.
Well, hello.
Hey, hey,
Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you. I just need to see you.
Okay, hold on. All right, here I am.
You hear this in the background? You hear this playing?
I hear it jamming in the back. I hear you.
Yeah.
Trying to be slick and play the jam on the cool tip.
Hey, that's how we do. That's how we do. Welcome
I need
back,
to send you
world.
the full thing.
Hey, I know, for real. Well, first of all, let me welcome everybody. Hello, everybody. Once again, this is Jay Tronius, and you are now gabbing with the Guvna. Without further ado, I have to let this wonderful lady introduce herself. Who are you, girl, and what is it about?
Well, I am the one and only Miss Cat. Look, Miss Cat. That's who I am.
That's it. That's it. Miss Cat, where are you this evening?
I am at home. I been in bed all day, so I got up solely for the purpose of performing this interview with you. We were out shooting a music video all night, and I'm not a spring chicken anymore. so
Okay,
so
okay.
I've been
Now,
trying
where
to.
is home? Where is home? Tell them.
Oh, Houston. I'm in Houston,
H
Houston,
Town,
Texas.
get down. H Town,
Yes,
get
sir.
down.
Yes, sir.
Yo, y'all, I met this wonderful lady. I believe we met online when I still was living in Boston. And then I came down here. I went ahead and moved to Texas. And I tell everybody in the world, to all of y'all that think I live in Houston and all the work you've been seeing I do in Houston, does not go unconnected without this woman. She is my gateway to the H, y'all. That's what y'all need
Well,
to know. That's what y'all need to know. Now, I'm going to let you tell us a little bit more about you, Kat. First of all, Miss Cat, you definitely have your hands in this entertainment industry. Give us a little history about where you started with this whole entertainment thing, what you do, and where you trying to go with it.
okay. Well, that's a good question. So basically, I was in corporate America. I used to manage a very large apartment complex here in Houston called Broadway Square,
Yeah.
and got laid off. And someone approached me and said, "Hey, would you be interested in hosting my TV show? I have a TV show. Would you be interested in hosting me and a friend of mine?" And so I was like, okay, cool. I ain't doing nothing else. I might as well do this or whatever. So was doing that. And the producer, the one that approached us about, actually being on the show, he was like, man, this is, too much time, too much energy, costing me too much money. I don't want to do this no more. You know what I'm saying? And so he just kind of like walked off the show, and so basically, I just decided to take it upon myself. You know what? I wanna continue to do this. Me and my girl was having fun. You know what I mean? So I just kept it going. So I took over as the executive producer of the show that was called The Talent Show at that time.
Yeah.
And we would just go around and just interview. It kind of went outside of like just music. It was more like people that had interesting talents, outside of music and things of that nature. So we were doing that for quite some time, but that's when I started to connect with, those that had radio shows and, different things like that. So the first person that really, and he may not know this, that really kind of established Miss Cat was a gentleman by the name of K Nice with GMT Radio.
Okay.
I started to, be at the station a lot, connect with him. And that's when I started to get really exposed, not really on the TV side, but on the music, side of the game, because he would always have all the local artists things of that nature, you know, coming to the station. And that's kind of how I got, you know, interested in that piece. And so I helped him for a while. He was producing a show called the Hip Hop Hangout TV show. And I helped him to, you know, put that together. And so, like I said, with us doing that show, me being intertwined with, you know, independent artists and getting the exposure on that side of the fence, that's kind of how I, you know, started dipping and dabbling, you know, in the music stuff. And just from that point, you know, I just kind of, you know, progressed. And, you know, as I became more known as Miss Cat of Miss Cat TV, that's when more doors started to open for me, more connections. I was doing a lot of red carpet events, you know, so people, you know, people would know me, you know, and so it was like relationships that I had built at radio stations, you know, executives, things of that nature. And then eventually I went to film school, you know, so I was building relationships, rapport on that note, and that's kind of, you know, how things began, developed. So then, you know, was working, you know, doing Miss Cat TV. I started to manage an artist named Jay Tronius. So, you know, I started to manage an artist, but shortly, you know, it became a little overwhelming, not the management side, just everything, you know what I'm saying? Just trying to, and then, you know, unfortunately here in Houston, it's not a film city, you know, they're not, you know, they see stuff on TV and don't understand, you know, like what it really costs and what it really takes. And, you know, so I became literally like a starving artist.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I was literally like a freaking starving artist, you know, barely had money, barely paying. I was popular, famous, you know, but I didn't have the financial piece, you know. So that's when I decided, you know what, I love the arts, I love I love what I do, but I have to, for the sake of my kids, for the sake of my well-being, I got to kind of step away. And that's when I developed Flat Fee, you know, my current business that I have. So kind of stepped away from the entertainment, stepped away, but of course it's always inside of you, never goes away. You know, it never stops. Yeah. So I dip and dabble, you know what I mean? But really been just focused on the you know, building my financial legacy, you know, building up my business, getting a consistent income, you know, and then, you know, on the side, you know, I still do my thing. So, you know, there you have it. So I don't know if that was too long-winded, but
oh, no, that's perfect. You know, and the crazy thing about me and Kat is like literally like my venture of coming down to Texas and starting in a new area. You've been right alongside me in this new chapter, and we've seen each other grow in the different directions, and just, you know, running into you and coming into Houston and just getting to know you. The world's got to know that you ain't nothing but a boss. You put your mind to something and you get it done, and you do it different than the rest. And that's why, you know, we had to interview you.
I appreciate it.
You know,
I appreciate it.
Now, why you know, as an entrepreneur, what made you go into the tax business outside of entertainment?
Well, and to be honest with you, I had a friend of mine, like a personal friend, that I've been friends with for like 9 years. She was doing taxes and things of that nature. And like I said, you know, I had became like a starving artist, you know, and I didn't really put that on blast, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I was trying to obtain, you know, keep up Miss Cat TV and keep up the entertainment side, but it really wasn't, you know, financially pleasing. Right. So my colleague said, hey, you know, I'm about to open up my own tax office, girl. You know, come on out. You know, I'll put you in management, help you, you know, do some things. So I did it on the side. A lot of people didn't know that I was doing taxes. So I had been doing taxes. It's just something that I didn't, because I was Miss Cat, you know, I didn't really want to put it out there. You know what I'm saying? Right. That I was like, because you know how people are like, okay, well, she Miss Cat, but you know, what is she really doing? You know? So I just kind of kept it to the side, kind of just made my money on the side. But then, I was blessed to kind of learn the game, firsthand. And I was seeing the money that she was making and so on and so forth. So she was like, hey, girl, I know that you're an entrepreneur. We kind of understood this was a temporary, thing just to help me get my stuff together. Now that I'm up and running, I want to support you, help you, do your own thing. You know what I'm saying? So we kind of parted ways, but in a mutual respectful way. And that's when, I developed Flat Fee. So yeah, I had been doing taxes on the side, kind of, in secret. But then I just decided, you know what? I don't care what people think. People gonna talk, whatever. So it is what, ain't nobody paying my bills.
That part.
You know what I'm saying? So hey, I'm gonna just, put it out there. And I'm grateful because, I've had the support. People are, supporting me. I'm just blessed. I'm definitely blessed and thankful.
So Flat Fee is the name of your company. Now, do you just do taxes in the Houston area, or can you do taxes for people from wherever?
Wherever. We do taxes nationwide. So anywhere, anywhere. And this year was the first year. So we weren't able to do like the advances and things of that nature. But next season, since I've, got my stuff established and things of that nature, we'll be doing like the refund advances. Like if you need an advance on your taxes and stuff like that, which I think a lot of people with all this COVID stuff going on, I'm sure next year is going to be, people going to really be desperate, to try to get money and stuff like that. So starting in December, we'll be able to start giving like advanced loans, on your tax returns. And yes, you can definitely, this is not a Houston thing. Nationwide, we service everybody on this.
You heard her, all y'all out here in the U.S., you heard her. You can have this woman, she's sharp as a razor. I'm telling you, when she puts her mind to, she's going to get down and it's going to go down. Now, let's tie them together because entertainment is our bridge.
Yes.
Now, what do you tell entertainers about being aware of their taxes and everything that comes with that? Why do you think it's important for them to know that?
Well, because your entertainment is your business. That's your brand. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, if you are legitimately, what you should be, you should have your music, that's a whole nother conversation within itself. But, we've been through that rodeo, sound exchange, getting your ASCAP or your BMI, so some artists are legitimately making money, from their brand. And, you actually can file that information. You can get a return if you, I guess if you have some kids or whatever. So, so at the end of the day, you can keep your receipts of what you're spending out. And basically, you can claim that on your taxes, more or less. So just because it's entertainment or for fun, if you are legitimately making money and also spending out expenses, then you can, claim that information on your taxes.
So it's important. We see these things, especially with some of the artists that as their career goes down the line within the acting business and the music business.
Yes.
They run into a lot of problems with the IRS.
Yep.
So
Because the thing is that ASCAP and all that stuff, they still use your social. They make you do a the W-4 form. You know what I'm saying? They make you register all that stuff. So if you're making money, you're gonna have to, claim that, that information. So that's to note, guys.
So see, I'm going to put this out there. I'm going to claim that Kat not only has her own tax business, but she will soon become the celebrity tax lady.
Okay. Look, I received that.
Look. Right here today. That's what I call. Now,
I received that.
Well, I see that you done did the tax thing, and congrats on that business, starting that up. Now, you did get an itch recently.
I did, yes.
There's a couple of things you got going on. Tell us about these two different ventures you got going on.
So basically, as you know, I'm a filmmaker, so at the end of the day, film is gonna always, just kind of like you being a creative or artist, it's only so long that you can go without getting in the studio and making a jam. You know, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so it's the same thing with me. It's only so long that I can go without picking up a camera and making even if it's just a short film, just something, you know, there you have it. So with that being said, you know, we just recently did a short film. It's called The Sins of Today. It was a small production, and basically, you know, just something that we could just do, because sitting in the house and this COVID and all this stuff going on, it can get depressing. You know what I mean? Just being honest, you know. So just a few of us got together and was like, hey, you know, let's just do something. You know, let's come together. Let's just do something. It ain't gonna be too big, too, you know, whatever, because all the COVID. But so we just kind of handpicked folks, you know what I'm saying, and just did a little small project. So we're editing it up now. Hopefully, we should be able to release it by the end of this month. So shout out to Miss Taz. You know, y'all know Taz. Shout out to Taz. She's in the film. Her birthday is on the 31st, and we're trying to get it out, you know, for her birthday. So, and what's part two? What's the other part two?
Girl, you on a record now. You've been promoting all of us making records, and now your ass is on a record. Tell us about this record. What's going on?
Okay, so this is the thing. This is between you and I, and look, and everybody else now that wants to know. So when I was younger, right? I think maybe about 20, 21, you know what I mean? I used to actually have the aspiration of being an artist.
Yeah.
I actually wanted to sing. I had a little talent, you know what I'm saying? But I never, I guess, really developed it. But I used to go to the studio. I used to, you know, kind of, you know, do artist stuff. But I had a situation to where I was working with a producer who basically, you know, made his advance at me. And because I didn't want to, you know, indulge in that, he basically was like, well, you know, I'm out, you know, I'm gonna stop recording you, all the music that you know, recorded and all that, I'm gonna, you know, keep it. And he tried to charge me like this stupid astronomical price, you know, to get all the music. And, you know, so I was just like, well, back in that, you know, I'm young, timid. I'm like, well, at that time, I'm like, you know, if this is how the game is, you know, I don't want to be a part of this, you know what I'm saying? So I just kind of let it, like let it die, you know what I'm saying? But it's always been something that kind of like, you know, in the pit of my stomach that's been there. Do I want to be an artist now? No, but it's just something that I kind of wanted to just say, you know, I did that. You know what I mean? I did a music video.
For the fun of it at the least, right? For the fun of it at the least.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Like, check, okay, Miss Cat, you know, did that. So so shout out to Golden Boy, you know, a very talented artist. You know, if I was to dip and dabble in management again, you know what I mean? If that would be an artist that I would consider, but no, I'm not. Look, I'm not going there. But I'm just saying, a very talented brother, and so he needed a hook, and I was like, I could sing. You know, he like, you can sing. I'm like, I think I could sing that. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of how it transpired. And he was like, oh man, you dope, Cat. Like, we need to push this, you know?
Right.
So I was like, okay, cool. You know, at least it'd be one thing that, you know, like on a notch on my belt to just say, hey, I did it. But since I put that out, everybody's like, hey, Cat, I need a hook. I need a, you know. So I'm like, okay, I don't know if it's something that I should, you know, I don't know. You know how I am. I'm kind of spontaneous in that regard.
Hey, if the people want it, sometimes you gotta give it to them. You know what I'm saying?
Give them what they want.
But most importantly, you telling us you got on this. What's the name of this record?
Oh, my bad. So it's a song called "I Got You." Yeah. It's a song called "I Got You." It's a, you know, one of them Bonnie and Clyde, you know, type joints or whatever. And so we did the music video last night. Super crazy, super epic. So the video is basically me and Golden Boy. We go to the gas station to like pump some gas. I'm like walking in the store to go ahead and pay for the gas. As I'm walking in, this guy's walking out, he bumps me to the ground. But instead of being like, like, oh, my bad, I'm sorry, he's like, get out of my way, like ugly about it. So him and Golden Boy, they get into a confrontation at the gas station, shots fire out, and we have to just kind of get it on. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely it's a movie. If I'm gonna do a video, it gotta be, gotta be crazy, gotta be epic.
For those that don't know, she directed 2 of my videos. She directed Wetter, which is still pumping right now. People still love that. And she also directed the promo video for my song Big Deal.
And everybody be like, oh, she's so so yes, and that's something like that I love. Music video. I love directing music videos. I need to get more music videos because that's something I love to do. But yes, so I'm all like, as far as the concept of the video, all that, that's all me. Like, I wrote the treatment and everything for it. But yeah, it's wild. So so I can't wait to put that out. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks we'll be putting that out as well. But where would I go from here with Miss Cat as an artist? I don't know. That's a question I don't know.
Time shall reveal.
But what I will say is, for those that think, yes, granted, there's God-given talent. Don't get it twisted. But at the end of the day, if you don't use it, you will lose it. You know what I'm saying? You have to practice. You have to take it seriously. You know what I'm saying? And, people see, they might see you and hear you and think, oh, I can do that or whatever. But at the end of the day, like, vocal coaching and just taking your craft really seriously, that's something that, I had to really understand. Like, man, I'm rusty. I'm in the studio cracking and, because, it's just a talent that I just haven't used in quite some time. So shout out to all the artists that really take this thing super seriously, because, tracks cost, studio time costs, vocal coaching costs, this stuff costs. This ain't, for those that do it for real, so that's why I always say, like, shoot, I don't know where I might go from here, because do I want to make that time, that commitment, that investment, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there you have it, because even doing the visuals, stuff like that, that stuff costs. So
it's a whole machine, man. It's a whole machine. Yeah. And people see me do it so damn easy, and I tell them, like, that didn't come overnight, baby.
Exactly.
Don't think you're gonna step up to the ring,
don't even
go toe to toe with me, because
exactly. Don't even think.
Hours.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Real. You definitely gotta pay that's the thing. Everybody want to eat, but nobody wants to, nobody wants to serve, nobody wants to cook, nobody wants to wash the dishes, you know what I'm saying? Like, but everybody want to eat, you know what I mean? And so that's one thing that I know, being on the other side of the fence, you definitely got to pay your dues, So, am I willing to pay those particular type of dues? Look, I don't know,
One thing I do know is that if you did, you've already paid the dues on the most important part, which is the business, because you set up such a platform for other artists that platform is naturally set up for you.
Most definitely.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's all, the ball is in your court, the world is in your hands, mama. It's whatever. And again, that leads me with this question. Do you think, now I've studied Houston a lot since you brought me to Houston. It seems to me, and the dude, no respect to the Kings of Houston, but it seems to me that Houston, there's something in the water with you queens out there. You queens have taken over the world. What is it with you women out there getting into this entertainment game and taking over? Do you feel Houston gives you credit for that, or what do you think that it is? Tell me about that.
Being in the industry and watching these dudes, I know what it is. They're lazy. They're lazy. They get in the studio, they're smoking, they're drinking, I think it's a lack of management. I'm 100% an advocate for managers, because at the end of the day, I think that artists should just be artists and just be talented. You know what I'm saying? Because just because you can sing or rap or whatever, that doesn't mean that you know how to manage yourself. That doesn't mean that you know how to brand yourself. You know what I mean? So let me retract what I said. It's not laziness. You know what I'm saying? It's just the lack of the right management, and then, so with us women, I think that we're better, managers. You get what I'm saying? Because most of us have kids. We're managing our kids, we're managing our household, we're managing our finance. You know what I'm saying? So I think with women being, better managers, I think that's why we, kind of prevail and thrive. And then a lot of times, these dudes, their pride, well, I got this, or whatever and instead of like lending themselves, to and it may not, not necessarily have to be a female per se, but I mean, I know even in the household, it's a lot of dudes that go get the check and just bring it back to the female, because at the end of the day, we just are better at management. You know what I mean? So I just think that with the fellas looking to potentially getting you a manager, and if so, if you could find a dope chick, get you a dope chick. I mean, can you attest to that? What is your standpoint? Because I mean,
well, the way I bring it out is because you did introduce me to Houston, and there is a lot of success out of Houston, but I have seen at the top of the food chain are the women.
Yes.
And I don't rarely ever hear these dudes speak on that. So I gotta speak on it, because from my experience, and you know me, I'm a worldwide Negro.
Yeah.
And me coming back to Texas and me coming into Houston specifically, I was like, there is something in the water with these females, and I don't know if they're really giving them their flowers right now, if they're not. But it is very prevalent that all the women out there, y'all do not play around, and shit gets done. Shouts out Shouts out to Megan Thee Stallion.
Yeah.
And the list can go on and on and on about, y'all do not, you H-Town boss babies do not play.
I appreciate that. I appreciate you mentioning that, and I appreciate you, for, like you said, giving flowers, because at the end of the day, like I said, I think, and it might just be my perception, just being around the dudes that I have seen, you know what I'm saying? But what I have seen, and I've been around, a lot of individuals, you know what I mean, in the music industry, is that I guess, like I said, it's a man thing, they don't, they prideful, this, that, and the third. They don't want a woman, maybe, and it might be a Houston culture type thing. I don't know. But I've been on set with dudes, you know what I'm saying? As the director, of that particular situation. And if it's a man on the side of me, oh, what you want? And I'm like, I'm directing, you know what I mean? So it's just like, I don't know if it's a cultural thing or, whatever the case may be, but I never
had no issues with it, because at the end of the day, in the beginning, and I think for a lot of our generation, but I embraced the fact that in the beginning with me, there was a team of single mothers raising me. And there was no man around. And not to say that's everybody's situation, but I know it was a lot of people's situation. So it's like, for me, I don't mind letting a woman have the power.
Yeah.
I have no issues with that. I'm cool with that. Especially if it works. All it's got to do is work.
Exactly. Aren't we all on the same team?
Right.
We all gonna accomplish the same goal, right? But so at the end of the day,
man, is that, like you and everybody you introduced me to down there, like I give you a lot of thanks and praise for for a huge part of my new Texas fan base is behind you. And you need to know that. And I give you your flowers now. Thank you, girl.
Well, thank you. I receive them. I receive them, and
Check
much love. And to this day, like I said, even though, like I said, I stepped away from the management side, but I still give Jay Tronius all. I'm still like, man, this is one of the dopest artists in the history of the land, and the galaxy, so.
So, regardless of a title, I've always told you we're always teammates, and teamwork makes the dream work, even if it's just telling each other, man, keep up doing what you do.
Most definitely.
That's an important part. Now, I'm going to ask you one more thing that I ask everybody on this interview. And at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, what is the Miss Cat legacy? What do you want to leave behind on this earth?
Ooh, okay. Well, I definitely, want to leave financial, literacy and things of that nature. So again, like I said, I know that I'm more known for entertainment, but I am stepping into a different arena. I am getting my insurance license, so I'm in the process of doing that. So Flat Fee is actually being rebranded from Flat Fee Credit Restoration and Tax Prep. We're actually now going to be called Flat Fee Tax Prep and Services, because we offer the credit restoration. We're going to start offering insurance, things of that nature. So right now, what I'm doing is setting up, no more.
Oh, no. Did it freeze? I better not. What happened? Oh, no. No. Oh, no.
On, it's time to have life.